Welcome to the Power of Music podcast, brought to you by JM International. Get ready to explore conversations with those making a difference through music.
Hello and welcome to the Power of Music podcast, brought to you by JMI, Jeunesse Musicales International, the global network of NGOs that empowers young people through music across all boundaries. In this episode, we're joined by Zeina Khoury, orchestra manager at the Edward Said National Conservatory of Music in Palestine, where she oversees the Palestine National Orchestra, the Palestine Youth Orchestra, and the ESNCM Orchestra. A graduate of Codarts Rotterdam and Berklee College of Music, Zeina has dedicated over a decade to nurturing Palestinian orchestral life under the conservatory's powerful motto: today an orchestra, tomorrow a state. We talk about the role of music offering a supportive of serenity, healing, and unity amidst the ongoing horrors facing communities in Gaza. Zeina shares the unique difficulties of touring internationally with the Palestinian Youth Orchestra, from logistical obstacles to the deep emotional significance of representing Palestine on global stages. She also speaks about her hopes for the future, both for the orchestra she manages and for the broader cultural landscape in which they play. As always, if you enjoy our content, don't forget to subscribe, like, and rate the podcast. We hope you enjoy the episode. Thank you so much for joining us today for the podcast.
Thank you.
First,
Thanks for having me.
Of course. First, can you share a little bit about your journey into music and what led to the beautiful work that you're doing?
Okay, so shall I start from the beginning?
Total beginning.
Okay. I grew up in a musical family. My dad is a musician, composer, and Nai, which is a Palestinian flute and clarinet player. So I was somewhat talented, so he didn't force me into playing, but he started teaching me the piano at a young age, and I joined the choir that he was running really young. And I loved the piano in the beginning and studied it at the Edward Said National Conservatory of Music in Palestine. I also, at the age of 6, recorded a children's CD with him. So I was in the studio at a very, very young age, but it was very exciting to do. And then I studied piano. But I had a lot of stage fright, so that was something that prevented me from enjoying it too much, if you know what I mean. And then at a certain age, we had a bassoon and oboe teacher come to Palestine for the first time, and they introduced the bassoon and oboe. And my dad encouraged me to get into it for a bit of a change, like to continue with the piano path, but to take on something different. And at that time, he was also founding an orchestra, a local student orchestra at the conservatory. So once I started bassoon, only 6 months after starting it, they were like, okay, you can start in the orchestra now. And I remember my first day with the orchestra with a fingering chart for the bassoon.
Mm-hmm.
Still learning these notes, but it was fantastic. It was it was a different experience. They simplified the score for me, but it was amazing. It was a different experience playing music with such a big, ensemble, and I sort of refound my passion for music through bassoon and the orchestra. And then I joined the Palestine Youth Orchestra, and that was something completely different. That was really a start of a different journey for me in life. It changed my life. It introduced me to so many people, so many friends from all around the world. I traveled so many different places as well with this orchestra. And I always did like orchestra from when I was young, from movies, from Disney, from stuff like that. And it's sort of just clicked then. And I decided that I want to continue with this and study this. So I applied to study bassoon and conducting. I applied to France. We had a collaboration. The conservatory had a collaboration with a conservatory in France. So I went to Angers in France and studied there for a bit, and then decided it was too small of a city for me. And I had a friend studying in Rotterdam in the Netherlands, but he was studying at Erasmus University. But he encouraged me to go, and I visited, and I liked it. So I met with a conducting teacher there, and at first I really liked him. And so I applied there, got accepted, and started studying conducting there. But unfortunately, after 2 years, things did not click at all. This teacher was not encouraging to me. He did not support me so much. So although I enjoyed my university experience, it sort of reeled me off that path completely of wanting to become a professional musician or conductor. I had a lot of pressure because it was already announced that I would become this first female Palestinian conductor, and everybody knew about it. And it was difficult to take a decision to take a step back, but I did. And I wanted to come back and study bassoon only without conducting. And then I went back home that summer and realized that the Israelis had taken away my national insurance and my health insurance because I was away from the country for too long. So I had to take the difficult decision to stay home. I went back just for 4 days, packed everything, and went back home, basically. And I started sort of interning at the conservatory, assisting the orchestra manager at that time, while I figured out what to do with my legal status. And I liked it so much. So I decided I'll go back to studying, maybe something else, maybe online, maybe, but I want to do this. I like the management part. I always had a mind for it and helped in organizing different things, but didn't realize that combining orchestra and management was just the perfect thing. So it worked out, and I became the assistant orchestra manager at the conservatory, and then the main manager left, and I was an assistant to no one for a year. So, and then I just became natural and became the orchestra manager. Yeah. So that's where I am. It's been almost 12 years now. We have a lot of orchestra, not a lot, but maybe 5 or 6 orchestras at the conservatory. I work with children orchestras, like ages 9 and 8, who've just started an instrument, and it's just a fun orchestra playing strings and stuff like that. And I also work with a wind band. I work with the Palestine Youth Orchestra, which I used to play in, and a passion project for me. And I work with the Palestine National Orchestra. I don't mention the National Orchestra a lot in my life because it's not a project that we're able to achieve on the regular, because we try to pay musicians to come and participate in this orchestra, and we don't always have the budget for it. So it's something that we do seasonally or whenever we can. Yeah, and the Conservatory Orchestra, which is for our advanced students.
So what I hear is first a story of traveling and exploring, and then taking a brave decision to not sort of live up to what everyone thought that was going to happen, and then going back and finding your passion.
Yeah.
Maybe one step back, can you share a little bit about what is actually the Edward Said National Conservatory of Music, and what does it mean?
Okay. So the National Conservatory of Music was started in 1993 by 5 musicians in Palestine. One of them was Zeina Khoury, my dad. So I sort of grew up with the conservatory, and I was there from a very young age. They decided to start this conservatory not because there was no music in Palestine. Music has always existed in Palestine, especially traditional Palestinian music, as well as classical music, but they decided to create a home for all that talent and to try to teach it more systematically and to create an infrastructure where people from or students from all around Palestine get access to it. It started small with about 40 students in Ramallah and 2 teachers, and it kept growing and growing. It spread, and we established branches in Jerusalem, in Nablus in the north of Palestine, in Hebron in the south, in Bethlehem as well, and in Gaza at some point. And many students came through the conservatory, thousands of students. It's really affected a lot of people in Palestine. It paved the path for students who graduated from the conservatory to open their own conservatories, to open their own music schools as well, which is something we're very proud of. Some students have graduated and become professional musicians that perform around the world with different orchestras. Some have come back and started teaching, and that's one of our main goals as well, like to be able to have Palestinian teachers teach at the conservatory, because for many years we've had to ask foreign teachers to teach certain instruments, especially the classical instruments. The conservatory focuses both on classical music as well as Arabic music. It's a big part of what the conservatory teaches. We give the platform for students to be able to be successful in their careers in music if they want to become professional musicians, but also just enjoy music. And one of the main goals for the conservatory, we say, like, to bring music into every Palestinian home. And that doesn't mean you have to become a music student, but it's listening to music, going to concerts, having it be part of your life. And we do that through many different programs, regular programs, outreach programs, as well as throughout the year. The conservatory has really tried to build an audience and build an infrastructure for our students and our audiences. So reaching out to many people as possible by having concerts and festivals, raising awareness, inviting schools to come and attend certain concerts. As I said, like outreach programs in refugee camps and villages. And helping other institutions build concert halls and building our own infrastructure, like the actual buildings for conservatories with spaces that are equipped to hold music classes, music studio, instrument fixing workshops, stuff like that. So they've really branched out into many things that normally a regular conservatory would not do, but because it was needed, and they've had this vision. Suhail has had also this vision, and it's been very inspiring to me personally to see someone that's had really a vision to create all of this on a personal level and on a professional level. So I've really wanted to continue on that path as he did. So, yeah.
Beautiful. And I want to hear more about that vision and also maybe the vision of the orchestra. But before, maybe can you say a little bit about, for the people that don't know maybe Palestinian music, how would you describe Palestinian music, and what does Palestinian music mean to you?
It's a bit difficult. There's always been an argument about this. So when I think about Palestinian music, for me, it's more like folkloric music. And because of what Palestinians have gone through, a lot of the music is about our land, our food, our love, us as a people, I think any folkloric music is that, but it's even more meaningful to us, and why we try to maintain it as much as possible, because it's part of our cultural identity, and our cultural identity is being taken away from us. They're trying to take away our cultural identity. And what is a people without their food, their dance, their music? That's what represents a people, not just their land, So for me, Palestinian songs, folkloric songs, are all about resilience, resistance, love, which is part of our resilience and resistance. And our dance, the dabke, which is the traditional Palestinian dance. A lot of our music is made for that. So yeah, that's what I think when I think of Palestinian music. Now, of course, there's the modern Palestinian music, which is what current composers are composing. And it's not necessarily like traditional Arabic music always, not always with the traditional Arabic scales. There's a variety, but it's Palestinian composers. So whatever is coming out of these composers is Palestinian music. So it's a variety of types of music. There's rock bands, there's rap music, there's an amazing initiative now in Palestine called Platinum. It's like a record label kind of thing, and they're a group of musicians that do rap and hip hop and different kinds of music. A lot of it is political because it's part of our reality, and rap music is usually representative of someone's reality. And maybe it's not something I listen to every day, but they have some amazing songs that are reaching to the younger generation. And that's also Palestinian music. So yeah, it's a variety of things, from like folkloric music, that's like the traditional old music, to what's happening now, to what's being composed, what we're singing now, what we're doing now. So
looking back at all those years with the orchestra again, is there one memory or a variety memory that stand out to you? Like, what are some of your highlights?
One memory. I'm not sure if there's like one memory. I'm trying to remember, but a lot of the memories, whenever I remember, when I remember the orchestra, it's not just one memory, but it's always at the end of the concert, the last concert, the final concert of a tour. When there's like a standing ovation, and there usually is. It's so special, and when we're standing together, if you look at a picture or a video of our orchestra, you'll see that we're always wearing black on black with our Palestinian kufiya hatta, and we're standing together with Palestinians from all over the world. And all over Palestine as well, proudly, after representing our people and singing our voices and representing what we want for people to see in Palestine. And people are so happy for us, and we've achieved, and we've worked together, and we've lived together through intensive rehearsals for a week, which is already exhausting, and we finally achieved. It's always very emotional. Many times we all cry after concerts, and it's a proud moment. So whenever I remember a tour, even after all the negatives and positives, because there's always issues with 80 people plus people traveling together, it's that moment, it's that proud moment and that family moment, and PYO has really become a long life family for me. So yeah.
Can you share a little bit about how a concert or how a tour, you shared a bit about in the presentation, how that comes about? You said people come from all over the world, you can practice at home. How does that happen?
Basically, the idea of the orchestra is to bring Palestinians from Palestine, all over Palestine, because in spite of all the separation and segregation that we've been put under by the Israelis, we've been segregated into Jerusalem and the West Bank and the occupied 1948 areas and Gaza. So bringing together Palestinians from all of these areas is already difficult. Having rehearsals in Palestine is always difficult because people have to go through checkpoints and borders and whatnot. So bringing them together in one orchestra. And then one of the main goals of this orchestra is to find Palestinians from the diaspora. There are millions of Palestinians living all over the world who were forcibly displaced or left throughout the years as well because of the situation. And our goal is to find some of those Palestinians that became musicians, now second and third generation grandchildren that are studying music, and to bring them into that family. And once you do that, it's a very, very special feeling because that's what we want Palestine to be, just this unity that we have in this orchestra. And it's not an easy thing to do because whenever we travel, it's very difficult. Sometimes we go to Jordan, which is a neighboring country, and it's a bit easier to get there, but not exactly. We have to go through 3 different borders as Palestinians. Palestinians from Jerusalem go through a border. Palestinians from the West Bank go through a different border. And then Palestinians from the 1948 era go through a different border completely. And we have different passport situations. So it's always like a running joke, but it's not really a joke. It's it's very difficult to make it happen, but it makes it even more special when it does happen. And when we get together, it's like a week of intensive rehearsals. Coaches come from also all around the world from different orchestras. We've had collaborations with orchestras like the Oslo Philharmonic, from the Scotland University of Music, different places around the world. And they come and coach these students. And then we do a series of concerts. And they're really very special. I mean, many people in the orchestra have said that they've never been able to match the energy that they have on stage when they're playing with the Palestine Youth Orchestra. And once you see a concert or you experience it as a musician, you really understand what I'm talking about. So you have to come to a concert.
I have to. And I just found out today that I missed one in my own very own country.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had really exciting tours, actually. And whenever we travel to other countries, we like to invite players from that country, which makes it even nicer and more special. And we do collaborations with about 15 students from different conservatories or universities. Because this youth orchestra usually has ages 13, 14 to 28, 29. So mostly young people. And it's a nice experience having these people abroad and experiencing different cultures as well. And we've had successful tours in the UK, in France, in Italy, and one of the most recent was in Northern Europe from Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and ended at the Amsterdam Concertgebouw, which was an amazing thing to do. Yeah.
Can you say something about the slogan? Today an orchestra, tomorrow a state.
This slogan was created by Zeina Khoury, the founder of this orchestra. And I mean, he has his own explanation to it, but also we all have our own interpretation to it. But for me, it's basically what this orchestra represents. Bringing all these Palestinians from all around different parts of Palestine, bringing the Palestinians from refugee families from all around the world, or all in one unity, playing together with one goal, under one leader, let's say conductor, but each having their own individual voice as well. It's not just, a dictatorship as an orchestra. It's different cultures, different backgrounds, but we are Palestine, and that's why we're sort of like the ambassador to Palestine. It's what we want to represent Palestine as, these young people that can make it happen. We are we protest through our music. Music is our weapon, basically, and we resist through our music. This is our identity, and this is who we are. And we proudly wear our kufiye while playing on world stages to show you what Palestine can be. So if we can achieve this, then we can have a state one day. So today an orchestra, tomorrow a state.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful mission.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that we also should touch a little bit about the situation in Gaza. As you mentioned before,
Yes.
you used to have a conservatory there as well.
Exactly.
How has the war and the genocide affected the situation there?
It's honestly been extremely difficult. As a musician and as a person, it's personally been very difficult for me to, especially in the beginning, even until now, when I don't understand how this is still happening, how a genocide is still happening 2 years on, and we are living normally, and I'm here. There's this kind of guilt also that I have the privilege to be here and talk about the conservatory and making music and all of that, while they're still, under siege and being bombed and being killed on the daily. We had a beautiful branch in Gaza. Unfortunately, I've never been able to visit because I'm not allowed into Gaza, and they're not allowed out of Gaza. So few of our staff were able to go into Gaza with like special help from certain NGOs. But they have so much talent, and many special projects came out of our music school in Gaza. Unfortunately, it's been completely bombed to the physical branch. All the instruments were either destroyed or stolen by the Israeli forces. All of our students and teachers have been displaced, and they're all around either like the Gaza Strip, different camps and refugee camps and tents, or some have been able to leave and to Egypt and other places. Those were the lucky ones. We've lost students. They've been murdered, and we've lost families of students. We can't keep up with everyone, but that's what, we try to as much as possible. But the presentation today was about hope, and I couldn't but just like think how, I mean, they teach us hope, like, it's amazing how they go on and they're still making music and teaching music and laughing and dancing while they're under genocide, and we're barely able to do that. So many of our teachers and our students, held on to that one instrument that they have. Not all of them, actually. So one of them is making like makeshift instruments out of whatever is around. And they're continuing with their mission of spreading music and spreading happiness and hope through music. We've reached about 20,000 children and adults with the projects that they're working on. They're trying to just use music for entertainment more than education, relief of grief, let's say. They're doing choirs, percussion groups when they can, just singing and playing along with the students. And we're not just focusing on music, we're collaborating with other artists that do like circus, clowns, dancing, anything that they can do. And I mentioned also one of our students, many students like just love it, and they grasp onto hope through it. And one student I mentioned today had like their arm blown off from one of the bombs that were dropped on them. And he still wanted to learn violin. He was a violin student and just did not want to give up. So his teacher, a girl named Sama, she's still a student. She was still a student at the conservatory, but with the circumstances, she offered to become a trainer for younger students. And she made this makeshift like bow holder wrapped like a scarf around his arm and connected the bow to it, and is teaching him to play like that. And I mean, if that's not inspiration for you, I don't know what is. And it's been amazing to see, but I hope we can maintain that. We try to financially support as much as possible when we can. We try to fundraise for it and support them and their families and support children in Gaza, because they deserve it. They deserve life as much as anyone around the world, any other child in the world. And that's what music is, basically. And that's why we use music. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a slide on your presentation called Glimpses of Serenity and Healing. And
yeah.
But and also the story you mentioned and also earlier, that is inspiration in its purest form.
Exactly.
What can the listeners at home, what can the international community do to help?
Well, first of all, education. People need to continuously educate themselves and people around them. It's the 21st century. It's the age of TikTok and social media and information. So if you don't know, and if you pretend that you don't know, there's no excuse anymore. You don't have to open news channels to see what's happening. You can get access to information anywhere and everywhere nowadays. You have to, advocate, peacefully protest, but talk to your government, reach out. Every voice matters. Tell your family, tell everyone around you, and help as much as possible, maybe financially if you're able to. Not everybody's able to, but, advocating within your own government, reaching out, saying enough is enough. I'm saying now enough is enough. Like, the people are changing. We can see that people around the world have changed their minds. They've seen the true face of Israel, and they've seen what they've been doing to us for many years. But it does not need to take over 50,000 or much, much more, I believe, killed in Gaza to convince people that we are people and that we deserve life as much as anyone. And yeah, so I don't know what every individual can do, but as I said, every voice matters. And if you can support in any way possible, please do. Because maybe sometimes people think, that the other person is supporting, I know about it now, but no, actually, every person matters, and every little voice matters, and every dollar matters. Because if one person is giving $1, that's great, but that's $1 times 100,000 people, that's $100,000. So support the people there, because and advocate for humanitarian aid to go in. Because people are starving. They're starving to death. So, and if you want to support through music, of course, because that's something you're passionate about as a listener to this podcast, maybe support the conservatory in its work, either financially, either in teaching. We've had teachers from around the world teach online. Whatever resource you can give as a musician, for example, is really important, because nowadays we have the resources we have like online teaching and stuff that we can do from afar. So if you can support in that way, please do so.
Or people working in NGOs in different
Yes.
countries can welcome the orchestra and make sure that you can show
Exactly.
the beautiful
Host
music.
us, give us a platform to speak, just as JMI has given me the platform to speak truthfully and honestly and with full openness about everything that we do and everything that we're going through. Be that next person and don't censor political talk, don't censor political music, because music is also important to spread awareness about many, many issues in the world, not just this. So host those artists that are speaking up about Palestine. Do not cancel them, and advocate within your own government and country and municipality or festival, and culturally boycott also.
So if we return to hope,
Yes.
what is your vision, right? Before today, you said, I've never given a presentation. You gave a beautiful presentation and it's your first time on a podcast. So everything can happen.
Yeah.
But for the organization and for the orchestra, what is your dreams? What is your hopes, ambitions for the coming years?
It's a difficult question. I hope, first of all, to become self-sustainable as an organization. We don't want to always depend on external funding and funding from different organizations around the world, especially what we call conditional funding. This is an issue I'm very passionate about. Also, we've had to face a lot of political conditioned funding, and we've refused to take it. To become self-sustainable somehow. I don't know how that can happen because we don't get any governmental support either. But to be able to not think about financial issues when trying to make dreams come true for our students and our players. So if I want to make something, I mean, I don't want to get a private jet for them. I wish, but you know, if I want to make a tour happen for them, I want the finances to be something secondary. And I want it to be easy to get to apply to visas, maybe like free visas for artists around the world. No, but a vision for the conservatory is to keep what we're doing, survive in very hard times, get even more students. It's also a time where a lot of young people are losing interest in playing music and getting into different things and losing attention span to certain things. But we don't want to lose that. And yeah, spread cultural identity and maintain that. Maintain our spirit somehow. A lot of people are losing that kind of musical spirit and playing for free and playing just to play. I want to maintain that in the conservatory. It's something very important to me. I understand that musicians need to have a career and a life and build a life for themselves. But it's also important to remember why we started playing and why music is so important to us. Have a full-time national orchestra and be able to provide careers for Palestinian musicians so they can actually come back and build their careers in Palestine. Yeah, and these are some things.
I think that's a good start. If people want to find out more about the conservatory or the orchestra, want to connect with you maybe, or even, give some money and support these beautiful projects, where can they find you? Where can they find information about the orchestra, about the conservatory?
Okay, we have a website. It's a bit difficult, but I'll try to say it. Maybe we can post it on as a link.
I will put always in the show notes, but for the people that are only listening and are...
ESNCM, National Conservatory of Music, ncm.birzeit.edu. And that's the main website. And you can find information about all the programs we do, about all the orchestras that we run. And there's a button called donate or support. So yeah, you can find information about that. We're also on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, the Edward Said National Conservatory of Music, or just Google us, and the name is quite unique. Palestine Youth Orchestra or the National Conservatory of Music in Palestine. So you'll find us. So maybe Google is the easiest option and the website will be the first. Or get in touch with me, Zeina Khoury, as well. And I'm always happy to help.
As always, the last question of the podcast. What is the power of music?
I mean, I think I've talked a lot about what music can do. The power of music is giving hope to people when they think they've completely lost hope in life, as it has to people in Gaza and children in Gaza. The power of music is sometimes to completely uplift you when you're listening to music and put you in such a great mood, but sometimes to purposefully make you cry if you need to. You know what I mean? When you want to listen to that song that just lets you go. It's something completely natural, and it doesn't need to be man-made by instruments. It's all around us. So it's part of our life and it's part of nature, I think. So it transcends us through life, and it's really important because I know I'm a musician and I work with music, but I think music should exist in every person's life. It's really something super powerful. It separates people sometimes, but it also brings together people. It connects us. I cannot say that it brings peace, because it doesn't, not for us as Palestinians, but it helps us resist. It helps us protest. It helps us speak up. So it might not be for me the language of the world, but it's a language that can help others understand what we're going through. So it's quite powerful in a way. So it's both for love, for hope, and for anger. It's a powerful instrument to use to get your emotions and voice to people around you.
Thank you, Zeina.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for listening. If you want more information about JM, or you would like to get involved, visit www.jmi.net. At JMI, we are on a mission to make the world more musical. That's why we created Mubazar, a digital platform that helps us manage all our musical activities across 80 countries worldwide, connecting musicians with opportunities to grow both personally and professionally. If you are a music professional looking for a better way to manage and promote your music activities, check out Mubazar. Created for music organizers, by music organizers, Mubazar allows you to run music competitions, workshops, camps, auditions, masterclasses, awards, events, and much more. Mubazar offers custom application forms, payments for your activities, jury tools, translations, analytics, and more. Mubazar is fast becoming the best place for musicians to find and apply for music opportunities online, and you can sign up today for a free organizer account by going to www.mubazar.com, registering, and then requesting to upgrade to an organizer on the right-hand menu. For more info, don't hesitate to get in touch via support@mubazar.com. It would mean a lot to us if you could give us 1 minute of your time and rate and review the podcast. In case you have any suggestions or would like to be one of our next guests, feel free to reach out to us through the JMI socials.